Good morning, Cougar family. This is Principal Wooding with a quick message for you students. We are almost complete with our first quarter of the new school year. I hope that you all had a restful fall break, and today I have some information for you about a reset. We always do a reset after an extended break, and we just want to be sure that you all are clear about our expectations in our virtual learning environment. So today I'm going to review Microsoft Teams logging in information and attendance, technical issues, discipline, and some incentives. So I want you all to know that we do open up Microsoft Teams at 7:45 to give you some time to get in for homeroom. While first period does not start until 8 o'clock, it is always best practice on any virtual learning environment to arrive 5 to 10 minutes prior to the start time. So that's why that additional time is there for you during homeroom. We do give teachers until 8:05 to submit homeroom attendance, so in case you're running a few minutes behind, teachers are able to go back and update that attendance. However, any class that you attend, if you are tardy, you are going to be documented as tardy. As we move through classes throughout the school day, however, anything more than 10 minutes late for class is just like it is if you were in the building. That's considered class cutting without an excuse. So we want to again ensure that you are transitioning on time and logging into your teams on time as well. The expectation is that your camera is on so that we can see you on camera. If you have any technical issues as to why you can't be on camera, make sure your parents are communicating that with your teacher. You also should be muted. Your microphone should be muted unless you are speaking or being asked to speak by your teacher. Appropriate dress is very important. Students, we did not specify a uniform for you for a reason. However, you should also still be dressed appropriately while on camera. You should not be in bed. You should not have on bonnets. You should not have on hoodies. You should be dressed appropriately as if you were in the classroom. Let me talk about participation. If you've been within Shelby County schools or Memphis City schools, wherever, for a considerable amount of time, you know that class participation is part of your grade. So participating on camera or unmuting yourself and speaking and participating in chat or on Poly or whatever your teacher has designed is mandatory. It is not an option. I want you to consider the length of time that you spend participating in your daily classes and understand that that is a link to your grade. So if you don't see that your grade is as favorable as you want it to be, consider, is your participation up to par? Also, when it is time to end class, it is very important that you hang up and or click the leave button to leave your class. There are certain settings and parameters in place so that the meeting is actually closed once the class period is complete. And so you need to do that so you can move on to your next class. We've noticed a few students are showing in Microsoft Teams as being on hold. So let me explain to you what that means. Being on hold means that you have joined another Teams meeting. We know that we do not have 2 Teams meetings occurring for you at one time during a particular class period. The only time that you will ever show on hold is if you are being asked to join a meeting with another counselor, administrator, or anything of that sort. Other than that, that is also considered class cutting. Now I want to talk about your attendance. I've noticed looking at our attendance reports that some students are doing very well with attendance. We want you to keep that up because we know that this is a transition and sometimes a struggle to do something new. However, there are some students who pick and choose which classes you want to attend. That is also not a good idea. You are expected to be in homeroom and in every class on time. If you are having an attendance issue, it is up to your parent to communicate that with your teacher and administrator. However, it is not your choice to decide which classes to attend. It will definitely negatively impact your grades, and we don't want that to happen. So as I move along to technical issues, if you are having technical issues with Microsoft Teams, it is imperative that we are communicating. So we need that information from you or your parent to your teacher and or to an administrator or to your counselor, so that we can determine if there are some troubleshooting measures that need to happen. Some of those things we can take care of here at the school building, and some of those things require us to contact outside sources. However, if you are not in communications with us, then we don't know that you have a problem. If for any reason you find yourself out of class, not being able to log in, we definitely need to ensure that you are still being able to receive instruction and submit work. Those things do not stop. So we have different measures in place to ensure that you can still receive your instruction, that you can still have an outside link or resource that your teacher might share with you. And if all else fails, we have interactive learning packets that your parents can pick up from the school. Again, all of that does start with communication to determine your needs. Now let me talk about discipline. The rules have not changed. The discipline policy has not changed. So we operate as if you are in the classroom. So anything that you do on camera is no different than if you were in class. So I want you to ensure that you are following and maintaining the expectations that your teachers have set, that Shelby County has set for you, and to ensure that you are governing yourself accordingly and operating accordingly as you would if you were in class. Some of you have had the unfortunate event of being in ISS. That has not changed. We still have suspensions. Yes, you can still be suspended if you are at home, but we don't want that to happen. We want you all to be ensuring that you are meeting expectations, that you are participating in class, that you are engaged in instruction. Because just as if you were in person, your learning is top priority to us. If you have any questions or concerns, you should always maintain contact with your teachers. So now that we're talking about contact your teachers, let's discuss the appropriate ways to do so. Some of you email the entire class when you have questions. We want you to know that counselors have shared all teachers by grade levels, name, and email addresses with you. So if you are emailing your teachers through Outlook, you need to email that individual teacher directly. If ever you find yourself sending an email communication, for example, to Miss Smith, second period science, everyone in that class gets that email, even if you're trying to convey confidential information. When you email it to the class, everyone sees that communication. When you email it directly to your teacher, only your teacher sees that information. So you know that you are emailing the correct communication when the email address ends in @scsk12.org. Again, if it has a class period name attached to it, everyone sees your communication. So we want to ensure that we are keeping your information confidential that you're wanting to share with your teacher. On the heels of discipline, when discipline is not an issue with students, we want to reward you, as we did if you were here. So we are going to set up drive-by incentives for attendance, for behavior. We normally would have a program for you after every quarter for honors. We're going to have to do a drive-by situation for that too, just to celebrate your successes, because again, we know this is difficult for you all, the transition is, and we want you to know that we are here to support you and reward good behavior and reward great academics. If you have any questions, any concerns, you can always contact your principal. Your parents know how to reach me as well. Again, welcome back from a fall break. I hope that you all have had a restful and enjoyable time. We've got 2 weeks left in the first quarter, and it is time to work and work even harder than before. Again, welcome back.